Welcome back to another podcast. It's been a very long time because obviously Mr. Boris has been playing games with us. He's been telling us to go in, letting us out. Then now we're back in now. So obviously you saw
Don't go outside.
yeah, exactly. Go inside, but don't go outside. But anyway, yeah, our last video was the Lewandowski challenge. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Very sick challenge. It's one of our best ones so far. But yeah, today we're back with another podcast with John, Mr. Under the Radar Keeper.
Let's go.
We got El Capitano Wesley, and we got AS Andre.
Yes.
And of course myself. Today's topic we have, or do you one of you Chelsea fans wanna introduce the topic?
The Chelsea fans
I'm here for it. Listen.
All right, go on.
Hey, something sad just happened. I can't lie. Our club legend, Frankie Lamps, has unfortunately been sacked. He is no longer the manager of Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel is going to take over his duties. And listen, I came prepared for this topic, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm a big Chelsea fan, yeah. Look, I'm such a Chelsea fan. I've got 4 layers of Chelsea gear on, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my days.
I came prepared. And you know I came prepared because my house is hot, so it's an even.
I just thought I'd put this on for you lot, yeah, just to show you where.
The best club
just show the levels. See the levels,
that's not what a Manchester City badge looks like. I'm confused.
Oh yeah, like that, yeah. All right. I'll give that.
Yeah. So today's topic is literally just about what we feel about Lampard, unfortunately, not being the Chelsea manager no more, because we definitely have different types of views on the matter. And yeah, I just wanted to be able to talk about what you guys think about. So, what do you guys think?
Do you know what? Yeah,
I think got sacked. Simple.
I think I don't know, man.
No,
do you know what?
I feel like it was too soon, way too soon. What he had? How long? 16 months.
18 months. That's 1.5 years.
Yeah,
but he hasn't had a full season, has he? Has he had a full season?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he
the
did,
season where we got 4th. Yeah.
I feel like they should have gave him until the end of this season.
But can you afford to do that as Chelsea? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You're a team that, in its culture, is always trying to challenge for at least top 4. Right? Yeah. We've only had 2 seasons where we've struggled to do that, and that's the season when we won the Champions League, which we got the Champions League by anyway because of it, and the season under Mourinho, of course, where we didn't do the greatest and hasn't only scored a handful of goals where Leicester won the season. So, for a team like Chelsea, are you going to be settling for the fact that, you've got a club legend as your manager that's clearly not 100% ready to be the manager, but at the same time, you're just not performing?
No, it's understandable.
I think since Lampard made those signings, a lot of people looked at Chelsea like they were going to dominate the league because of the people he was buying. So they had an expectation. Obviously, at the start of the season, they always have an expectation to win the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? If you're one of those teams, if you're one of top 4, top 6 teams, you're expected to go win the league or challenge to win the league. That's an expectation. But I think in the media, a lot of people would have put Chelsea at the top, one of top 2 teams, top 3 teams to win it this season. So because of all of that, and because of the expectations they already had, I think that Lampard had a lot of weight on his shoulders because of who he was buying. To see them do rubbish, it's should he really still be there if he's made all these signings but they're just not performing? But then is that because of Lampard, or is it just players haven't settled in yet? But how long do they need to settle in? Do you know what I mean? So there's just a lot of stuff that comes with it.
You know what? To say to that point is, if you look at Chelsea, going into match day 12, they were leading the league, 3 weeks before Christmas. So, of course, it was a team that definitely had a lot of potential, and you can see it. But the problem here is that, it doesn't take away from the fact that Chelsea has been underperforming defensively. Lampard is a very aggressively, more offensively minded coach.
100%.
And it's just one of those things as well when you look at it, is the fact that, yeah, you're going to say players are underperforming, but surely for a team like Chelsea, if you're going to be spending, 80 mil on Havertz and 50 mil on Werner, you would have at least learned a little bit more about those players. Because if you look at it, right, yeah, both of them have been underperforming, but they've been out of position, playing a bit out of their roles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, and of course, if you're given this type of adversity, it's a hard ask to then perform at that same level. Werner was in a system before where he was a striker playing alongside another tall and strong, burly, striker. And that's the system that was working for him. And now you put him out on the wing and have him do some different stuff. Of course, you're going to underperform. And, that's the problem with Lampard. He never wanted to change anything. He was stuck to the 4-3-3 that was working before, but once the results weren't coming in, he was playing against tougher opponents. He started dropping games, and 1 or 2 wins out of 8-9 games is not what you want to see as a Chelsea fan.
No, yeah, but that's exactly true, because Chelsea is a big team, like they're a top 4 team, and because they're not winning games, even against Big 6 club, it's just mad. Because Lampard's not playing certain players in their position, you should understand that he should play them in that position, see how they perform. If they perform well, carry it on, see how it goes. But he keeps putting one on the wing and then Havertz in another position where it's not working.
Do you know what it is, yeah? The question that it says there is, did Lampard get sacked too soon? I slightly do think it was too soon, man. It's because when I look at it from because I'm sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in that position before. His team weren't performing well, and he was in a bad position in the table. But then after a while, after a few games, that's what happens with United. United, it happened last season, and it's happened this season as well. At one point in this season, we were 14th in the table.
Yep.
And then we just shot up. We just shot up the league. We were just winning games, we were drawing games. It was a good run. We've had a good run, especially away from home. But from the time that we were 14th and we were losing games, we weren't performing. It was never a thing of, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked. Even last season when we were 15th, 16th, I think, it was mid-league as well. It was happening, and it was never a thought that he should be getting sacked. So
they gave him time.
it's just he's got a lot more time, and that's why it's if he does have a little setback, then you don't really get too much criticism for it. So
what's my counter to that? There's different aspects that I look at that as a Chelsea fan. Of course, Frank Lampard is a massive legend at the club. He's actually one of my favorite players of all time. But the problem over here is the fact that Chelsea has developed a culture over time, right? In a sense of the sacking of managers. Of course, not everybody hates it, but it did also win them 20 odd titles in the last, 15 so years. And then on top of that, you're looking at the fact that, as a Chelsea fan, can you afford, right, to look at it in a sense of, okay, let's give him some time and hopefully he wins some stuff over time, and then we'll develop, into a better side. I don't think Chelsea can do that, because it's the same situation at Arsenal, right? In the sense of they went from a team that's okay, we'll settle for 4th, for Champions League every season, and now they brought in Unai Emery before, and then Mikel Arteta, and they're bouncing around 8th in the table for averaged out towards the season. And I wouldn't want that to happen for a team like Chelsea. I feel especially with the players we have, everything we've got, this should be a team that should be challenging for top 4, let alone for a title. So I understand in that sense, and I feel it is. You can say it's too soon, but like I mentioned before the chat, if this was any other manager, you know what I'm saying, and you put him in a position and he wasn't a club legend, you brought in Sarri from last time, and he was getting the same type of results, he would have not stayed at the club for as long as Lampard,
Yeah, no, it's true.
So I kind of understand where Abramovich was definitely thinking in that aspect of it. So
I think the main reason for why I said it, that it might have been too soon, is just because of what he's done for the club, man.
Of course,
I think he's just done so much.
I think he deserves a statue. So. I think he deserves a statue at the club. Him, Drogba, Terry. To be honest, I don't know why I stood it up.
It's not just that though, because you've seen other managers coming in, let's say Klopp, Klopp came in his first he didn't win a title until like the second season, right?
Yeah,
more. See, there you go,
like
more.
yeah.
So I'm trying to say. So why can't we give time to somebody? And one, he's not experienced. Cool, we understand that, and yeah, he's a legend. So like, there should be a bit of loyalty where you have to give him a bit more time. Yes, he brought in Havertz, Werner's, and everything. Of course, they're not going to settle straight away. That's not going to happen because it's too many players to settle in straight away. Like if we talk about one player, like Man United did, they brought in Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has settled in because it's just one player kind of thing. So it's a bit more easier to settle in. But because there's so many players, you've got to give him time to actually adjust to what the players, or like you were saying about when they're playing in different positions, where you've had a lot of players, they've come into a team and they have to change their style of football, or they have to play in a different position. Like one that will come up to my head is Navas. Like Navas now, he's playing right back. Navas don't play right back, but he's playing right back now. You got to change this kind of style of football, kind of thing. So like is like Rashford as well. Rashford was a winger, but he plays as well striker. You got to change your style of football, kind of thing. So I don't feel that they should have sacked him. I think it was too soon.
You know what? You saying about the whole settling in part. I mean, once again, just like I mentioned before, by the 12th week of the Premier League, we was first, right?
Yeah,
and
literally,
you had Werner having, I think it was like 8 goal contributions in like 8 games or something like that, and all of these things. So the players definitely had a good start to the league, and I feel like they settled in pretty well. Like when you was watching Chelsea play, they seemed like a strong unit. So I don't think that was the full part of it, because I know that I heard that there was dressing room antics in the team and all of these things, and definitely lack of trust between the manager and
so
the
then
coach.
you saying that,
you
saying that, is it then that's when you can say, raw, like, are they playing bad because of the player? The players are not playing for the manager, or is it the manager's fault?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's something that you won't know.
Because if they started playing up good and then we was first and whatnot, we was winning matches, and then all of a sudden we're all 7th or 8th, 9th. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? To answer that, when we're talking about adversity in that sense, that we're speaking of hypotheticals in that sense. We don't know what the situation behind it is, but the thing that we do know, that last season, Frank Lampard ended up coming in 4th with 66 points. As I said before, that's the second lowest Chelsea standards since 2002. And then on top of that, he got to 2 finals and lost them both. The same thing that happened to Avram Grant when he got us to the Champions League final, and he got sacked for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but the thing is, he got you to the finals. He got you to 2 finals and 4th.
Right,
very good for him.
Okay.
That's very good for him.
One of the finals was a Europa Super Cup, which we got because of the fact that Sarri won the Europa League the previous season.
Okay,
and then the other one was FA Cup.
And you lost to Arsenal.
Exactly.
Of all teams, Arsenal.
If that was any other manager, trust me, he'll get sacked in the morning.
No, but okay, cool. No, but okay, cool. But it happens though. Like I said, once again, like I said, he's not experienced manager like that. So you got to give him time. He got you to a final already. He's got you.
Who was Chelsea's manager?
If I'm wrong,
before Lampard?
Yeah, sorry, before Lampard.
If I'm wrong, did he come? I swear he came mid-season as well. He came mid-season, right?
I think he started it off because Sarri decided he didn't want to be manager of Chelsea, so he went to Juve. So I'm pretty sure he started the season.
I don't think so. What's his name? I think Sarri left after the Europa.
He started. Sorry. He started the season, but you couldn't buy no one because of the ban that we had. That's it. Yeah. So he started the season. There you go. See, he started the season. Couldn't get no transfers in for one, and he's not experienced. He got you to 4th place and got you to a final. That's very good for an inexperienced manager.
Saying that, right? I don't think that it was fully like Lampard that helped us out get 4th, because if you look at it, right, one, the benchmark of 66 points being enough to get Champions League, that's already a problem. The fact that all the other teams around Chelsea played terribly last season. Liverpool were able to storm away with the title, a couple months before. And the fact that United didn't have the greatest of seasons and they still managed to leapfrog Chelsea to a 3rd spot It's
The
already
last game of the season for United was the decider to whether we were going to get top 4 or not. Do you know what I mean?
And they were able
for
to
Leicester
get third,
and United.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at that as Chelsea and you're like, okay, cool, right? And I know that you spoke about Liverpool before, and this is going to be a question to you, Wesley, being a Chelsea fan, right? So yes, they gave Klopp 3 years to win a title, all of these things. Okay, understandable. But if you look at before that, right, they had a culture of like managers like Roy Hodgson, Kenny Dalglish, right? They even had all these managers that they weren't even getting Champions League football for Liverpool. They were getting 8th, they were getting 7th. So as a Liverpool fan, that's what you're settling for. You're like, okay, cool. You know what? I don't really care about Champions League. I just want to be.
Klopp came in. Yeah, Klopp didn't win a trophy. He won. I think he joined in 2015. He didn't win a trophy for 5 years at Liverpool, bro.
Yeah.
4 years. Sorry, because it was 2019. It was the 2019. When did they win the Champions League? 2018, 19, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2018-19 season. So what? 3 years. He didn't win a trophy for 3 years at Liverpool. But so they were second. Yeah. If you were a Liverpool fan and before him you were what 7th, 8th in the league for like how many years in a row, then you'll be happy to.
They weren't that
third.
low. No, they weren't that low.
So wait,
they weren't coming that low. They were coming 7th, 8th.
You want to see? I'll show you. I'll show you.
Brendan Rodgers.
With
Brendan Rodgers, they nearly won it. And then they won it, and Chelsea,
I'll show you. No,
Chelsea
but
beat them.
Before him, there was managers before him that were finishing low in the table, bro.
But listen, Wesley. The question is, would you be able to take a risk of Chelsea no longer be challenging for anything, right? They'll be settling for 8th and all of these things to give Lampard.
No, but listen, the season, for one, like I said, bro, the season hasn't finished. If you're telling me, hold on. If you're telling me the season finished now and we finished where we are right now, and you sack him, then that's by all means do what you have to do. I understand that. But one, the season hasn't finished. The season hasn't finished. The season hasn't finished. He still hasn't finished his job, so we can't say right now. Oh, he would have finished 8th, or he would have probably finished 4th or 3rd. We don't know that because the season we haven't gave him the chance to do that. If you guys gave him the chance at least to the end of the season, then I understand. Then I understand why you're sacking him for finishing 8th place, 9th place. So that's where my argument is, because you haven't given him the whole of the season. Like you got at least give him.
But if you look at it,
it's still acceptable. The only reason why we've been looking like we're still 8th is because of the fact that every Premier League team has had a terrible time and they're keeping it close. But that I don't think being able to. We've won 1 game, I think, in the last 8 games, and that was against West Ham. And we've literally dropped points in every other game along since. I'm not talking about, the FA Cups and the Carabao Cups, because that's besides the point.
That doesn't really,
once again, you give that to any other manager, and you're already thinking, hey, is this the guy that we can... Like, this guy was linked with being a manager of Burton Albion and Oxford United, and then got the job to be a Chelsea manager. Like Klopp, at least he was winning titles. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's true. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my point. But and the fact that you got to still remember the fact that he's a legend for what he's done for Chelsea. You got to remember for what he did for Chelsea. So you not giving him a chance. You've only given him a season and a half to prove himself. A legend that we're talking about. I think that's disrespectful. I can't lie to you. If Chelsea was in the spot that Arsenal was in, and we was in 12th, 11th, trying to fight for relegation, then I understand why you're sacking him.
But we was like 2 points away from Arsenal, though. We was like 2 points away from Arsenal. If Arsenal didn't drop points like last week when they drew 0-0, they would have been higher.
That's last week, though. I'm trying to say. That's the thing. You have to give him time. They've given Arteta time, because people were screaming Arteta out. They were screaming Arteta out. If you watch Arsenal fan TV, they were screaming Arteta out.
One thing you need to know is that Arsenal fans are never happy anyway. They're always they're never happy. They can't be happy. Arsenal fans have not been happy for the last 15 years. The only thing they've been happy with is flipping FA Cup.
They love the FA Cup. They love it. Once they get into the finals, they will pray to God to win that.
Everybody always tries to compare the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation about they gave them time and all of these things, right? But you have to remember when United was like 12th, 13th, 14th in the league, right? You're looking at it. They still had like 2 games in hand. They still had like 2-3 games in hand. So them winning those games was able to propel them to 3rd, and then all the other teams were dropping points. So with that, there's an excuse. We, as a team, we had games over the teams below us.
Yeah.
And if teams like I forgot who it was, but like the Villas, the Southamptons, the Leeds, all of these teams that had a game less than us were to win their games, we'll be in the bottom half of the table.
I just think they should have gave him at least to the end of the season. That's all I'm saying.
I think with his first full season, which was the last season, right? He had a first full season last season, yeah, which was his first season.
Last season. Yeah.
He should have. I think fourth.
No, he did good.
Clearly, he didn't need. If he's having a season like this. He's had half a season and he's at where he's at now with being able to buy players. And last season when he didn't have. No,
but I'm sure if last season when
he needed transfers. He needed transfers.
He needed transfer last season. Of course. Did you see the players that we had?
We got away with it. We
got away with that, bro.
Yeah.
We had a very meaty team, bro. We had a starting 11. We had a starting 11 and that's it. And that's about it. That's all we had.
So how could you go from now listen to this. How could you go from saying that we had a starting 11 and that's it, and now he's bought players and you have too many now? That don't make sense.
And our defense was pants as well. Our defense was very rubbish. Our defense was very rubbish.
I can't lie, the defense is still meaty.
But it takes time, bro. It takes time.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying no. What I was saying was that you went from saying that we needed a transfer window last season, yeah, and that you didn't have. You only hold on. You only had a starting 11. So how now that he's bought how many defenders? He's bought Chilwell.
No, but that's
he bought Mangala Sarr that he sent on loan, and he bought Thiago Silva. Yeah. He's filled in a left back, a centre back, and he's got Reece James from the academy. And he's bought 2 midfielders and a striker. How is that too many players?
No. Do you know why? Why? If you look at Chelsea last season, right? At one point, I think it was somewhere between 16 to 22 times did we have to change our combination at the back. We did not know who to play at the back. If it was to play Rudiger,
it was always changing.
Right? We had one of the worst defensive records of the league. We conceded I think it was above 60 goals last season. And you're at that, right? And even in Champions League, like I said before, we conceded 14 goals in the Champions League, and we only got to the round of 16. That's what 7 games, and you're conceding 14 goals, including 4 at home to Ajax. Of course you need to buy players. I feel like, as I said before, we got away with it last season because everybody else was underperforming.
Last question, because we're finishing. This is basically more for John here. So what do you think with a new manager that's coming in?
Oh, Tuchel. I mean, a lot of people look at him and they say, okay, he kind of got away with one because Harry Redknapp said it today. He was like, he won a title at PSG, so anybody could do that. But he done a great job at Borussia Dortmund and Mainz before that, and I feel like it's just going to be a breath of fresh air. I feel like it could be one of those situations that Chelsea does every single time where the manager comes in and the first 18 months of his regime, he does absolutely beautiful, and then the following season he does bad and then gets sacked. But I feel like it should be something different, and it's definitely something to kind of look forward to, you know what I'm saying? See if he has a different type of strategy to power the players, and, the players are probably going to want to fight for their positions a little bit more.
I think he's been dashed into the deep end. Do you know why? Mainly because...
I can't lie, he kind of has.
Yeah, mainly because, like you said, PSG, if you don't win a trophy at PSG, you shouldn't be a manager.
You shouldn't be a manager.
He got them to a Champions League final that no other manager has been able to do.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's not the same as. First of all, we had this COVID situation where players were flipping. They stopped playing for a long time and then come back, and then, do you know what I mean? Players weren't ever going to perform the same. Who got knocked out? Look, you had Lyon beating Juventus. You had, do you know what I mean? The Champions League was mad. Yeah. Champions League was mad. So
you're Bayern slapping Barcelona 8-2.
They were one Choupo-Moting back heel away from going to extra time. So I mean, that could have been their first ever Champions League trophy. So,
if you don't win a trophy at PSG, then you shouldn't be a manager. And I think
he did.
The Bundesliga, fair enough. I think at the Bundesliga, fair enough.
He done a great job over there.
It's a decent league, so it's good. He's done a good job there. But now he's got sacked.
He's a free agent. He's been put
in a way different, probably the best league in the world, in Europe, of course. And he's having to do a job. This is a job because it's like Chelsea are in a position where they're not used to. This is not Chelsea. Even throughout the season, you'll never see Chelsea usually below 5th. Throughout the season, Chelsea, you'll never see Chelsea below 5th, especially at this time, halfway through the season. You never see them there. So now he's 9th, and you've got some players who are not performing, and you've got some people fighting for their spot. Well, most players are fighting for their spots, obviously, but then you don't really know who to start and you don't know who to play because it's like, this guy is really good, but he's not really performing. But then there's this guy who does all right when he comes on. So it's like, who am I going to start? Do you know what I mean? He's been put in a position like it's really hard to see who's going to have a team that's going to bring them back to where they usually are. So it's going to be a job. It's going to be a difficult job, I think.
But we'll see. I want to see how it goes, though.
I want to see.
Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, if you would love to hear your opinions on if you think Lampard got sacked too soon or not,
just drop a comment.
Wait, what was everyone's opinion? So who thinks it was? He didn't get sacked too soon.
I said it was too soon.
I don't think it was. I feel like it was the right.
I'm in two minds. At first, I did say that it was too soon, but I'm in two minds. I think there's a lot more reasons for why he should have got sacked. But then, obviously, I think the main reason of having that loyalty and respect for him as a player of Chelsea won. But guys, thank you for watching.
We'll be back next week.
Obviously, like I said, let us know what your opinion is on this question. And you can check our last video again, which was the Lewandowski challenge. Really good video, so go check that out.